here's a list of types of genres of games that are like very boring ATV racing games, which is a type of racing game that usually Disney would be involved in. And mainstream racing games like Need for Speed and Midnight Club, Dub Edition. And there are sports games like basketball, boring, football, boring, soccer, boring, baseball, boring. And the only thing that's like semi-cool would be MMA, but that's also boring as well. Puzzle games are boring as shit. Hunting games, snowboarding games, cooking games, kids games, Wild West games, Mafia era games, platforming games, and certain simulator games like Western themed simulator games and farm-based simulator games are the most boringest games ever. And flight simulator games are also boring as shit. Those are the types of games that are fucking boring as shit. And I don't think it'd be great to keep those kinds of genres alive when there are other genre of games that are more palatable, to say the least. I'm just speaking truth. There are too many best games that are not getting the attention that they deserve. And the games that I've just tacked off are those types of games. Now, skateboarding games, whoa, holy shit, skateboarding games are actually more fun than that of snowboarding games. The soundtrack is memorable. And the only kind of games that like BMX games are like urban setting BMX games are more entertaining than ATV games and motocross games. Like, seriously. ATV games and motocross games are fucking boring as shit. You know your game is fucking boring from the fucking jump when Tony Hawk games are more appealing than the likes of said games. And the only racing game that was cool was Midnight Club Dub Edition. The Midnight Club or Midnight Racing games were the most entertaining. And that was the only racing game, aside from Need for Speed, that was popular and well liked. And fuck Gran Turismo. That shit was boring as shit. And cooking games, come on, man. That's fucking boring. And kids games, ugh. Miss me with that boring rated E shit. And platforming games, ugh. Like I want to jump from platform to platform to collect the same shit I be collecting for the past, what, 5 levels ago? 5 parts ago? And the Mafia era games are just boring as shit. Barely any compelling story. And hunting games are boring as shit as well. Just like sports games. And the puzzle games, that is the brood mother of boring ass games. That is the brood mother of boring ass games. Puzzle games and chess games and checkers games that are digital, including card games that are digital, board games that are digital, are boring as shit. They are the top of the pantheon of genres of boring ass games I would never want to play. But puzzle games are boring as shit. And games, fun games like Resident Evil should not have puzzles. It should be strictly just based on fucking survival. Holy fucking shit, dude. You got the most boringest fucking mechanic in one of the most best fucking horror games. If I wanted to play a puzzle game, I would go to the fucking rated E section for a puzzle game. But a fucking rated M for mature game should not have puzzles in it. But the boringest shit goes, the boring it is. That's just how it is. And MMA games like the UFC or the octagon-based games holds no water at all compared to pro wrestling games. Because at least pro wrestling games were fun. And during regular standard matches, with a bare-handed approach to beating up somebody in the ring was way more fun. And pulling off insane moves was, in fact, the more fun than anything else. And how is it that people think, oh, why don't we just put boring shit in games? Like that's gonna fucking sell. Strip off all boring parts of the video games and replace them with fun parts. All fun parts of video games, and then you would make a fucking killing. Why the fuck do you think fighting games are insanely popular? Because story-based driven games, as such as Dead or Alive, Street Fighter, and Tekken, and other fighting games got so fucking popular. And why do you think first-person shooter games got so fucking popular? And why do you think third-person shooter games got so popular? And the whole live FPS and looter shooter games were at first popular, but then the FPS games started losing popularity because of microtransactions and boring pace bullshit. And looter shooters started out strong, but is fucking dying because of microtransactions and boring, slow fucking pace. While third-person shooter games such as the first Saints Row game, the second one, the third one, even the fourth one was most popular. And old school Grand Theft Auto games were fun as shit. Story-based games were always popular. And why do you think Grand Theft Auto made Rockstar billions upon fucking billions? Because their games were fun back in the day. Went from go here, go there, go here, go there, go here, go there, to gray markers on the fucking map, steal a car, deliver it to the garage, get paid, to active roles in each gang in the Grand Theft Auto's narrative, and becoming an active shooter in the PlayStation 2 era of Grand Theft Auto games. And those are fun when they first came out. Sure, the graphics back in the day were dated, probably dated back when they first came out, but hey, that was cutting edge gaming technology at the time. That was all the HD we were ever going to get back then. And games like those were fun. And narrative story-based fighting games that were third-person fighting games, such as Urban Reign, were the best. Third-person fighting games where it's not side-scrolling, where you can move the camera to wherever you wanted. But fighting games such as Tekken, Soul Calibur, Dead or Alive, Mortal Kombat, I like to emphasize this by listing them off. Soul Calibur, Dead or Alive, Tekken, Street Fighter, Virtua Fighter, King of Fighter, and Killer Instinct, Mortal Kombat. What else? That one side-scrolling fighting game that was the Power Rangers fighting game. And let's not forget, the Power Rangers video games were fun as shit. And guess what? First-person shooter games like Medal of Honor and Killzone and Call of Duty and Halo. These were the very, very first-person shooter games, along with that one game where that demon-possessed individual that had a girlfriend that was also from the same orphanage as him. I think it had something to do with Dark something. I'm not entirely sure. But also there was Fear. There was Time Shift, Crisis, and if I'm not mistaken, Half-Life and Left 4 Dead, Back 4 Blood, and what else? I'm trying to think on the top of my head. There's Carnival of the Dead, and what else? House of the Dead. There was a shit ton, and I mean a shit ton of first-person shooter games. And also, there's also another first-person shooter game. Yeah. I'm trying to think of it. Oh, yeah. A couple of first-person shooter Rainbow Six games. And there's also Doom and Duke Nukem. First-person shooter games that were popular. And, yeah. Those are the kinds of games that were popular and more fun to play. And there's also the old school, original, without a shadow of doubt, original Gears of War games. Gears of War games. The first Gears of War games were fun. Sure, they were hard as shit, but they were fun. And those side-scrolling fighting games were also fun. That explains why Dead or Alive was one of the most popular fighting games. Just like Tekken and Soul Calibur. Tekken, Soul Calibur, and Dead or Alive, Street Fighter, King of Fighters, and Virtua Fighter were a pantheon of incredibly popular fighting games. But one fighting game was also popular. Mortal fucking Kombat was popular. It still is. And the one fighting game that failed was Killer Instinct. But there's also another like first-person shooter game, Joanna Dark. And there was also Darkwatch. Darkwatch hadn't been relevant since the early 2000s. And at the state of the political climate in the gaming industry, it is for the best that Darkwatch, a supernatural Western-themed first-person shooter game, did not get a sequel. And thank the gods of Olympus for that. It would have been woke as shit. But we all know that the whole woke shit will not poison Resident Evil. 'Cause I swear to fucking Zeus, if the woke mob gets their hands on Resident Evil, I fucking swear, a lot of us horror game fans will be up in fucking arms and raging out of control out of anger because the woke mob contaminated another franchise. They did that to fantasy-based games and Call of Duty, turning the most fun fucking games into woke, pandering garbage. I don't want to go and play boring-ass games that are not of my interest.